Right, welcome back to the match chat, guys. On today's episode, we've got our own fishing where John Harvey has come back from Whiteacres and Stafford Moor. We've got my own fishing where I've been back to Herrenbrook on the Winter Leagues yet again. We've got results from all around the country, including the Zero Fit, Angling Trust Zero Fit Silverfish qualifiers, and we've also got the On the Flyer TV qualifiers. We'll then head over to Calamity Corner, where we've got a story from myself today, and then we will go to Shit or Hit. So let's get started. How we doing, mate?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Yeah.
You've been back on the bank now?
Yeah, I had a little break from after the parking tonight, but I went down to Stafford Moor. It's the first time I've been there. It was a Fishermania when Andrew Neil qualified, so I don't even know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago because the lake I drew back then was a stock pond, and it's not a stock pond no more. It's like a bit of a snake lake they've made it into.
Oh, is
Where
it?
you like fish, where you fish from the middle of the island, like. So they've done a lot of work there. To be fair, Joe and Paul.
Yeah.
But like I said, I haven't been there for donkey's years, and I gotta say the fishery was brilliant.
Yeah.
Pristine. All the grass was tidy. All the pegs are tidy. All the lakes are tidy. Do you mean the lodge we stayed in was spot on? Like, do you mean?
Yeah.
We had a lodge on a private on the Spersey Lake.
Yeah.
So Matt Parsons, who I was there with, and Andy Power, we lent a bit of Spersey gear and we put our rods out in the night.
Nice.
So looking to try and catch a big one, but we had a couple of runs, but no joy. Like, but it was a good lodge. Like, to be fair.
Yeah.
Hot tub as well. So
yeah, I've seen a few pictures with you, Power and Parsons in the hot tub.
There's a few knocking about. Power didn't want to have a few photos, but we managed to snap him on the sly, like. But the fishing was good. Like, I didn't really know what to expect because I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Spoke to a few people. Spoke to Sam Powell and a few others that go there regular. And he said it was going to be like Carassios, skimmers, and roach.
Yeah.
We fished a practice match on woodpecker. That was a practice match before the qualifier.
Yeah.
Because it was a practice match, a qualifier, and then the final. Joe and woodpecker drew peg 14. Absolutely didn't mean a thing to me. But it was the peg that Sam Powell had won the match off the week before.
Yeah.
And he caught a few Carassios. So give him a little bit of a call, asked him what was up. Told me that the Carassios sort of live in that area between 14, 13 and 11. So he said, got a good chance of Carassios, but on the day, it was quite windy. I have done a live match for that one. I've filmed that one, so that'll be coming up live on YouTube soon.
Happy days.
But it was a good little practice. Did get pestered by carp sort of the first half of the match. There was a few carp knocking about, but once they disappeared, it was nice. Then caught a few skimmers, a few roach, and these 18 or 19 of these Carassios. So
yeah,
all caught on maggots over ground bait. Do you mean just nice fishing? Fished 14.5 meters and did sort of venture out to 16 when the wind dropped. But and I was miles better. That was, if I could have fished 16 all day, would have had a right all weight. I think I had 36 pound.
Nice.
Won the match. So that was a nice little start, a nice little confidence boost to a venue that you've not really gone to.
Yeah.
Then the next day was the qualifier.
Yep.
So we was all in the shop and everyone was talking about where they wanted to be, and Tanners, Woodpecker, and a lake called Pines was in, and a lot of people were saying they wanted to avoid Pines because it fishes quite hard.
Yeah.
There's only silvers in there, so there's only Carassios, tench, bream, skimmers, roach, perch.
Yeah.
there's only sort of them in there. But it's like a weird lake. It's like a bit of a canal type lake, where like some of it's quite narrow.
Yeah.
Where you can like almost reach over, and then some of it widens out, and there's like bridges, and it's a bit of a weird lake, like. And people said that £15 was going to be a really good weight on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, don't really want to draw that one. Well, as it happened, we went into the draw. I drew peg 3 on Pines.
Yeah.
Andy Power was staying with drew peg 1 on Pines.
Yeah.
And Matty Parsons drew peg 6 on Pines. So the three of us in the lot
Yeah.
were in the same section. And
Right.
I think it was 3 qualifiers from each section goes to the final.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, bloody hell, typical,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Pressure's on.
None of us wanted to be on Pines, and we were all drawn in the same section on Pines. But it was hard fishing, but Matty managed to win the section from an unfancied peg, to be honest, because people said it was probably one of the worst ones on there.
Yeah.
So he's done really, really well, to be fair. Matty had £13 4 ounces, something like that. £13 6 ounces to win the section.
Right.
I managed to sneak a few little tinkers.
Nice.
Which is always nice. Which got me £12.15 second. And then Power just snuck in with £9.1 then.
Nice.
Behind us. So all 3 of us managed to qualify.
Yep, that's always good.
Which is always good. So on to the final. Loads of people were saying you wanted to be 17, 18, 16, or peg 4, 4 and 5, because that's where the Crassios live apparently.
Yeah.
They catch them on a little feeder. Went into the bag, drew peg 8, and everyone was like, don't know, don't really fancy that one. And I was like, oh, I've never been here before. Let's just go there with an open mind. Everyone said that you wouldn't win the match, but there's a chance of winning the section. So I've gone there, just set up a little feeder to the island to try and catch a Crassio or 2 if they're there, and then some pole lines then. So got there, set up an open mind, chopped a few worms up, bit of ground bait, bit of maggots, put in sort of a short line with some chopped worm, throwing cast over it, put a worm line out long, put a ground bait line out long as well at an angle, and then that little feeder. And to cut a long story short, all I did was catch carp all day. and like, I've been on silverfish matches before where you catch a lot of carp, but you catch silvers in between. Yeah. This match, do you mean I just caught carp and nothing else?
It was relentless.
It was just mental. I had 3 skimmers that I weighed, and they went £4, £4.12. So I was rock bottom last in the match.
Wow.
In the final, rock bottom last, and I probably had over 40 carp.
Yeah.
It was just like I was tapping like a little ball of ground bait in with some dead maggots, and as I was lowering my rig, they were pulling an elastic out. It was that's how many was there, like. and you start a new lineup, feed a new line with a little nugget, and within 5 minutes, you get a bite, whack, it's a carp again. Like it was just
crazy,
relentless. Me and the boy on peg 9 were bottom 2. I think he's had £5, I've had £4.12. So it just goes to show that end of the lake was not great, to be honest. But
carp soup.
Yeah, but it's one of them. I had a nice sort of weekend down here with the boys. Like I said, it's a lovely fishery. If carp counted, they would have been about probably £300.
Well, exactly.
But, they don't, and I ended up rock bottom last. So no money, no spending money on the way home. That one. No. So left there, a little bit down in the dumps, to be honest. It's like I've had a good practice match. I qualified, in second section, and then went to that final and sort of blew out then. And come home, it was a little bit down in the dumps, but it was only 3 days home. Yep. And I was off back to White Diggers.
I think before you say that though, everyone needs to know about your garage door.
Oh God. Well, basically, I had like 2 or 3 days back at home, and then I was off to Whiteacres, and I was going to travel down on the Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So the Tuesday, I thought to myself, right, let's get up the garage, open the garage up, get all my stuff out, load the van ready, and then I can get going on the Wednesday. So it was like probably 5 o'clock.
Yeah, when you rang me.
Yeah, and I've pressed the garage doors. It's like the roller shut the garage doors on a fob. Pressed to open it, nothing happened. Thought, bloody hell, what's going on here now? And then pressed again, couldn't get it open. Pressed the lock button, pressed the unlock button, kept pressing it, couldn't get it open. I'm thinking, oh my God. And like my garage is like a 2-story garage. So like other than that one way in, it's a long way to try and climb through a window. There wasn't open anyway. So
yeah,
I was thinking, oh, how am I going to get this up? So tried loads and loads of things. I tried switching the power off, switching it back on, thinking that the sensor wasn't like picking up. Nothing, couldn't get anything to work. Started getting a bit stressed because all my gear was in there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get away, and I was thinking to myself, oh, what's going to happen here now? I won't be going, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And having a bit of a stress out. And to be fair, my neighbour come up and he's like, come to the rescue, like. And he said, oh, you've got an override thing there with like a handle.
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. He said, have we got the bar? Because it's like a special bar that goes in and like locks into place.
Yeah.
I was like, when I bought the house, I've never seen a bar. So like, I don't even know where it was here. So I was thinking, oh great, I got an override to sort of crank the door up, and I got nothing to use it. So we come up with this like a screwdriver. We put a screwdriver through the hole.
Yep.
And then it was like turning it with a screwdriver. You imagine like you're turning. It's going up a little bit at a time. I managed to like get it so far and then get a jack underneath it and jack it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that I could roll underneath it to get inside. So got inside, tried to open it, couldn't get it open. Gone to the plug where it's fed off.
Yep.
Took the plug out, checked the fuse was blown. And I was like, oh, God, like, I was like, this is my day now. When you think of it, like 4 o'clock, I got home from work and, cooked the daughter some food, went out to try and sort my stuff out. It was like 7 o'clock at this point. I still got into the garage. Stress levels through the roof, like, and took the fuse out. My next door neighbour said, I got a spare fuse here, put it in, plugged it in, opened straight away. Like, I was like, oh. So I managed to load the van and get away then. So it was like proper stressful stressful evening.
Just a little bit.
I hadn't loaded the van. I hadn't packed my bag, and I think at that point it was like 7:30. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be a proper late night. This is, but managed to get away. To be fair, so got away, got down there, and for anyone that doesn't know, the Thedrenon Festival down there is a bit different to the normal festivals. It's an invitation only festival. Get a lot of the foreign boys come over from Belgium and Holland and France. They all come over. It's a 30-meter limit, natural baits only, and it's float only.
Yeah.
So only wagglers and the pole can be used really. So it's a great festival, brilliantly run by Gary Barkley and Clint and the fisheries team. It's one that I really look forward to every year. And staying with the boys again, we had 2 lodges quite close to each other with Mikey Williams, Andrew Crocker, Luke Sorokin, Matthew Edwards, me, Andy Power was in with us, getting tortured again. And we had Carl Williams in with us as well.
Yep.
So Melonhead. I don't know if you know Melonhead. But we had him with us as well. So, the weather down there was absolutely horrific.
Yep.
That's all I can say. First day, I drew Jenny's peg 4.
Yep.
Which is a peg that I sort of quite fancied, but with every peg in on that bank, felt like Felt like you really wanted to be on the ends.
I was gonna. It's not the same peg as it is in the Part Dean final, is it? Really?
No, peg 2 was the end, and then
Yep.
every peg to peg 9 then.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like, I probably wanted an M peg there. But drew peg 4, drew with power next to me.
Yep.
Which is, always a battle.
Mm.
But power give me a right old spanking.
I was going to say, I think me and Alworth give you some stick in the group about that for sure.
Everyone give me a little bit of stick on that one. But to be fair to him, he's fished an absolute beast of a match. To be fair to him,
yeah,
he's fished corn long at 13 meters all day, and like at times I couldn't even hold my pole at 13 meters. So how the hell he was fishing out there?
Yeah,
he had it on a bumper, but how he was holding it out there, I don't know.
Not Scooby.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is whether the island was giving a little bit of shelter.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Do you mean it was rough? It was a rough all day. But he's caught 66 pounder crassios next to me, and I've weighed 35 pounds. So he's on, he's double my weight near enough.
Yeah.
But I've had a few crassios on corn long when I could get out there. I caught a couple of crassios and an F1 on a waggler early in the match before the wind got up really bad, because then it was just tramming through. And I've caught 20 odd pound of skimmers and roach and all that short on ground bait and maggots.
Nice.
So I've had a nice day. Ended up second in the section.
Yep.
So, not a disaster. So that was a good little start. Second day, then I went to Trelawney.
Yeah. One of your favourites.
Love Trelawney. I always like Trelawney. Drew a peg that I've never drawn before, 21.
Yep.
Now, in the past, 21 on Trelawney has always been either you literally blitz the match and win the section easy, or you last. It's one of those pegs. It's, for people that don't know, it's at the top end of the lake. It narrows up, so the island is like 60 meters away from you.
Yep.
And you're in like a corner of the lake, and the fish are either in there or they're not. Now, I tried fishing everything I could and could not get a bite. So and all the fish all week, looking back on it, has been in the wider part of the lake.
Yeah,
it's quite clear, and I think they've just settled in that wider part of the lake, because those 3 or 4 pegs there have been the best all week. So ended up with 31 pound.
Yeah,
which, to be honest with you, I worked really, really hard for. I fished. I was out of the wind. It was flat calm for me. I could fish tidy. I could present the bait tidy. Just couldn't get any bites.
Yeah.
I ended up 5th in the section. So the only people I beat was the person to my left.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm the MPEG. Person to the left, 2 up from him, and then one other person further down the lake. So bit of a disaster that was, and I was thinking to myself, oh God, I had a decent day yesterday, but power gave me a battering, and today I could have had a really good day, but it turned out to be disastrous. And then I was going to Twin Oaks the next day, and then Match Lake last day.
Yeah.
So I was hoping for a really good peg on Twin Oaks. I think I got one, to be honest. I don't think it's as good as everyone makes out, because everyone's like, oh, you draw it, and everyone's like, oh, you're a draw bag. But I drew peg 17 on Twin Oaks, which in a normal festival would be one of your first choices, that and 15. Probably your first 2 choices. But in a match where carp don't count, I think the pegs towards the bottom end of the section, sort of peg 2, peg 4, peg 5, even up as far as like peg 9.
Yeah.
There's less carp down there.
It's always been known as an F1 area, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, there's less carp down that area, so when they do get bites, they normally F1s.
Yeah.
Up where I am, you've got to plough through the carp before you catch the F1s.
Yeah, and I think Dean Barlow had about 30 on the first day, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Dean Barlow. I don't think he done that well. I think he was quite low in the section.
Yeah,
but then But then the day before I drew it, Adam Wakeling had £70
Yeah.
and won the section. It was a narrow section, but I think 4 people had £70 that day. But Waco just come out on top. So I went in with an open mind, put some bait in front of me. Everywhere in front of me, I caught carp.
Yeah.
You know, I did manage a Carasio and an F1 halfway through out there. But I had a really good run late short on a top 5 throwing maggots, and the F1s rocked up, carp in between them. For the last 45 minutes, I had 16 F1s and probably 4 carp as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I knew I was behind, I could hear people talking, or so and so's got 15, so and so's got 20. So I knew I was behind. So when I turned up, it did pull a little bit. Tried to make the most of it. And I did pull out of 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Which at the end proved costly, because I think I had £66. There was a £67 and a £69 won the section.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I could have, if I made a few better decisions throughout the day, I might have had a section win. And if I didn't pull as hard as I did on those ones that turned up short, I might have caught enough just to nick the section, which is what I needed, really.
Yeah.
I needed that win, but ended up 3rd in the section, which to me, I thought to myself, well, I'm out of it now, because 4 days, all your results count. And I thought to myself, well, even if I win the section tomorrow, I'm probably not going to get in. Do you know what I mean? So I sort of was saying to myself that I'm not going to make the top 10. Do you mean? Or top 13 they paid, sorry. So that was that. Next day, drew Pollowin peg 44, which I was absolutely gutted with.
I was going to say, it's not the best area. I know Budgie was down there on the Preston, wasn't he? And I think he had 1 F1.
Yeah, I was absolutely gutted, to be honest. Like, there was a weight caught the day before on peg 42, which is towards the bottom corner. But they got a lot of space there, because 42's in and then 41's out. 40's obviously there's not a peg. 39 is out, 38 is out, 37 is out, and 36 is out. So 35 is the next peg.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of room there. So I thought, well, he's had 90 odd pound the day before on that peg. So there's obviously a few fish down there, but he's 2 pegs to my left and he's got all our room. Why would those fish want to sit like in a narrow bit?
Yeah.
Like in between anglers? It didn't make no sense for me. So I thought that if the fish was still down there, it would still be in that sort of corner.
Yeah.
And then peg 19 on the pointers to my right. So I got there and I was a bit like, well, it's the last day. I'm not doing any good. I'll just sit there and fish. Do you mean? And And I actually had a really nice day. Like, I just picked a few lines, tapped maggots in with a little bit of crush expander, and caught some absolutely beautiful F1s, massive things, like 4 or 5 pounders. Like,
I'll just put a picture of that up now.
Some real big
when
F1s.
We get it in.
Yeah, some really big F1s. A lot of big blondes, and just some beautiful fish. Like, and felt like I'd done all right.
Yeah,
I mean, felt like it's all right. Chris Downs was on peg 42 next to me. He's had 2 F1s. The bloke on 19 had £14, so I've had £66 in the middle. Felt like I fished a really nice match. Like, ended up 2nd in the section because peg 7 was in my section, and he's won the lake with £72.
Yeah.
So ended up 2nd on the lake, 2nd in the section. Needed an extra £10 to win the section, and I don't think I could have caught it.
No.
Like, I didn't miss many bites. I didn't lose any fish. So, like, where I could get that extra £10 from, I don't know.
And I think one of the things you said to me as well is you had a lot of bites where people normally wouldn't even pick up on the indication, would you, at all?
Yeah. Well, I had my float dotted down because obviously the wind was supposed to be getting up that day.
Yeah.
And where I was in that arm, we were quite sheltered.
Yeah.
So I dotted my float right down because it was flat calm there. So dotted it right down to a pimple, and you could sort of still see the float tidy, like, and fish are really, 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 really sensitive. Dotted down, I had a 1.2 bristle on, one of those F1 fines.
Yep.
So, the 1.2 bristle, this was a quite small bristle as well. And it was dotted down to a pimple. And because I felt like it was not going to be a brilliant day, like the first bite I had, I struck at it. I probably shouldn't have struck at it. Do you mean it was one of those ones you think to yourself, oh, perhaps I foul up that? Do you mean?
Yeah.
But I landed it, and it was in the top lip, and the float hardly moved, just a little flicker on the float. And I thought to myself, "God, I'm gonna hit all them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit all them now." And out of the sort of 19 F1s I had, I reckon 9 or 10 of them were literally a flicker of the float.
Yeah.
And the float didn't go under.
No,
it just moved. Do you mean it just moved a little bit, had a little flicker on it, and I whacked it, and they've all been top lip.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show how delicate they were feeding. And like I said, I don't think many people would have actually seen those bites or waited for the float to go under. And I don't think they would have gone under.
No.
I don't think I could have done any more than that. But I've had a nice end of the week. Like, went to the presentation. It's always nice on the Thedrenon because everyone goes up to the presentation.
Yeah,
it's always a big crowd there. Gary puts on a raffle as well, which is always good. And I ended up 15th in the festival, which is 90 odd anglers here, so it's not a disaster.
No.
They paid top 13, so it was 1 point away from making the top 13.
Yeah.
And I felt like a couple of decisions throughout the week, and I would have gained an extra point or two.
Yeah.
And definitely made that top 13, top 10. But it's one of those, you could always sort of look back on your matches and dissect them and, be a bit cruel on yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those things. But that day on Twin Oaks, I probably could have got an extra point or two. The last day, I don't think I could have.
No.
And the only other day I could probably nick an extra point or two was on Trelawney on 21.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I was bites at a premium that day anyway. So, like, I would have needed another £7 to get another point.
Yeah, definitely.
So perhaps I wouldn't have done it. Do you mean? So you can always look back and think you could have done better. But I think really that's a true sort of true position of where I should have been. Like.
And that's it. And I think we'll just mention the top three as well. Obviously, as part of the results thing. Adam Wakeling won it, didn't he?
Yeah, Wakeling won it.
Used to work down there,
wins.
Obviously.
Yeah, four wins and a big weight.
Yeah.
So he's a good angler, Adam, isn't he?
Very good, isn't he?
All week he's been brilliant. Like, so well done to him.
Yeah, and then second is obviously our old mate. Well, your old mate,
the Ginger Prince.
Yep, Mr. Power. Was that 4 wins again?
Oh, Ginger Poobs himself.
Yeah,
yeah, he's a machine. He is like 4 wins again. Like, honest to God, like you can't begin to think of like how good that boy is.
Yeah.
Like went down, he won the Maver Festival.
Yeah.
Like 3 wins. He went down and won the Preston Festival. And now he's gone down, he's been like straight wins and been second on weight.
Yeah.
It's just like he's an absolute joke of an angler, honestly. He's an absolute joke of an angler. And a lot of people like don't realise how good he is on other things.
Yeah.
Like he's brilliant on the river, he's brilliant on the canal.
Brilliant at pike fishing, a lot.
Pike fishing, bass fishing. Do you mean he's just a natural gifted angler?
Yeah.
And he's just that good. He is very, very good.
Yeah, and then third place, obviously, Josh Newman, England under-25s angler. Very good angler as well.
Josh would end up third. He's a very good up-and-coming angler, Josh, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
He's involved in the England setup and fishes up around all the drains up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's that sort of way inclined. Yeah, I think so, definitely.
I think it's a little bit like I think Josh is more suited to sort of like small fish, silverfish fishing.
Yep.
So the fact that it was like F1s down there, he's done brilliant, really, because
definitely
some of the best F1 anglers in the country were down there.
Definitely,
And,
mate.
I think he finished just ahead of one, Andy Bennett. So
Yeah, the man himself.
yeah, the man himself. So that's enough about me anyway. What have you been doing in your fishing?
So back to Erinbrook again. It's a bit of a theme with me, really. Obviously, over the winter period, anyway, because it's
Two winter
obviously
leagues up there, haven't you?
yeah, teams of 4 and teams of 8. So we fished a round of the teams of 8 and a round of the teams of 4. Start with the teams of 4 because that was when you were at Stafford Moor.
Who's in your team of 4?
So team of 4 is Preston Innovations, back Dave Lloyd and Dave Brown. Obviously
Right.
known for the canal fishing.
Terrible twins.
Exactly. And then we have got the 2021 disabled national champion, Stevie Lovell, who obviously is a name known around the Midlands, does a lot at Baldings, does a lot at Tunnel Barn, and obviously Erinbrook now. So it's teams of 4 is a very, very consistent team apart from myself.
Letting the team down, boy.
Yeah. So we'll start with that one anyway. I've been fishing the Canal Lake for the teams of 4 because you can place your anglers on that league. I have, Steve's drew me this week last week on peg 24 on Canal, which is, to anyone that knows Herrenbrook or knows Herrenbrook as the old pegs, it's sort of around old peg 30, I'd say 33, 34. So just off the old bend, which was 31, 32. I've had Paul Gibson on 23, which is the bend, which has been the informed peg pretty much all year at Herrenbrook, for people that know it. So I was in for it, really. Proper in for it. But I've fished a really tidy match, in all honesty, mate. I've tapped maggots most of the day, sort of 11, 13 meters. It's been sort of like 16 and a half meters across. No shallow water at all, really, apart from in the edges. But started at 11 meters. I've had a good run of about 6 or 7 F1s in the first hour. Not massive ones by Erinbrook standards, at all sort of pound to sort of £3, £4.
Good fish to get you off the mark.
Exactly, mate. And it steadies you down. And to be honest with you, at that point, Gibbo on 23 wasn't really catching. So it gave me a bit of hopefulness in all aspects.
Bit of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. But then it hasn't gone pear-shaped, but it slowed down. I've kept putting fish in the net until sort of about 2 hours in, where it's gone dead quiet, not many bites. And if you did get a bite, it was normally you were hooking them a lot round the face for some reason. And I don't know what was going on with the fish at that point. But on 24, to your left, there's no angler on 25, but there's a lot of cover there, as it were. So
all those like rushes, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've set up a maggot feeder at the start of the match, just as a sort of chuck away line, really. And I've chucked it up the bank. I've probably fed 3 feederfuls and left it for 10 minutes, while I've just sat on the pole and not really caught a lot. And after the 10 minutes, I've chucked it, and it's literally, I've put the rod down, I've had a drop back and an F1 about 2.5, £3. Thought, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. But I've had probably 8 fish on that in the next hour, which has really sort of kept me ticking over with the other pegs in the section, with it being a 12 peg section. And then that's gone dead. But luckily, I've dropped back on my pole lines at sort of 11 meters and 14.5 meters. And we just finished the match sort of there, just catching the odd F1. Yeah.
It's mad how they just turn up. Like, you can sit there and not get bites and leave something alone for a bit, can't you? Just go back to it and it's solid again. It's like, it's amazing how that happens this time of year with F1s.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. But on that point, though, Gibbo on 23 has had a great run across from sort of the second hour to pretty much the rest of the match, to be honest with you. He's weighed 87 pound 10, and that's won the section, but it's got him third in the match as well. I've managed to get default section win, to be honest with you. I've had 67-12, which is always nice. It's always
They're
nice.
always the best ones, the defaults.
It's always nice. And yeah, the team has ended up, I think we had three seconds and a win on the day, so we won the day overall. We're still I think we're around 4th or 5th in the league. I'm not sure on the actual league standings itself.
Climbed up a little bit though.
Yeah, teams are forward coming back. Obviously, just need another good draw again this weekend. Then we'll go on to teams of 8, and like I say, teams of 4. I nominate myself to be on Canal, and somehow I've ended up on there again this last weekend.
Is it the teams of 8? It's just a random draw, is it?
Teams of 8 is the Angling Trust Winter League, so that's a random draw over the sections, obviously.
And you ended up on it again.
I ended up on there again and 2 pegs away. I ended up on peg 22, which was, I've got a feeling it was around 4th or 5th in the section the week previous. I wasn't too happy with it, but at the same time, hearing a few rumblings that the fish had moved from 23. But you never know what to think with fish, do you? They can move, they can swim and do what they want. But Brad Parks has drawn 23. For those that know Brad, probably one of the nicest, quietest guys in fishing.
You can draw 2 pegs.
Definitely. But I've started the match and not really anything's happened. I've had one F1 on maggots at sort of 11 meters where I like to start at Ehrenbrook. And that was it really. And it was really, really hard for the first sort of 40 minutes. Matty Barwell's been on the M peg to my left on 28. And he's come walking up the bank after sort of an hour saying, oh, no one's catching anything. It's absolutely crap, this, that, and the other. So I'm thinking to myself, I need to do something. And where I've been on 22, again, I've had cover to my right with a little bit of space. So I thought, right, I'm going to do exactly the same. Set the maggot feeder up. If it comes to it, I'll fish it. But instead of like trying other lines and stuff, I've gone on that maggot feeder sort of quite early. And it's paid off, to be honest with you. I've had 7 F1s on that, the sort of up to the 90-minute mark. And I've thought, this is really good, this. If I can just keep putting the odd fish in the net, I'll get the section win.
Yeah, keep plodding along.
And it's come to a point, it's gone dead again. Like we said, this time of year, F1s just tend to move sometimes, don't they? And it's one of them things.
I don't even know if they move. I think they just switch off.
Yeah.
They just stop eating.
Yeah. But then in front of me, I've plumbed up a line to the stick-ups in front of me. Sort of the sharp sort of grasses that obviously grow in the water. Snag pit, really. But this time of year, they usually hold a few fish. And at this point as well, I think Brad on 23 has only got 1 fish still. He's had 1 F1. So it's really fishing hard at this point. And I've shipped over. I've kindled probably 8-10 maggots in. And it's sat there and it's gone within sort of 30 seconds. And I thought, right, there's a few here now. But everything I've caught on that line has been sort of 12 ounce to a pound, not been big fish. So they've sat in them stick-ups really just for a bit of cover, just for a bit of yeah, well, on a day.
Hammer off like lunatics all the time.
Yeah, exactly that. And
they snag you up. But they snag you up in every opportunity.
Yeah, and that, I think, to be honest with you, that's why I fish the red Thedrenon power pull. It is a nice sort of summery F1 elastic, but for this time of year, it can be a bit harsh. But it's pulled me out really. I've managed to get probably 95% of the fish out of the stick ups, which has been good. And to be honest with you, I've sat on this till sort of the last 30 minutes of the match where I've dropped short. And I've had probably 4 or 5 bigger F1s, sort of 2 to 3 pounders, which obviously Aaron Brook's known for.
Big Wisens.
Yeah, them ones. And yeah, that was my match really. I finished with £70, 5 ounce. Matty Barwell on peg 28 has been second in section, so I won the section with £70 5. Matty's been second with £59 4. Matty's had four or five fish going into the last 90 minutes, and then he's had a real good run short and across. But other than that, it's been horrendous. I mean, Brad next to him, he's had 6 F1s for £10.
Oh, God.
Craig Marson's had 6 F1s for £14 and so on and so forth. Mentioned to Morgan Davidson, who drew a peg near to when I had that £1 4 ounce the other week.
The gudgeon peg.
The gudgeon peg, yeah. He's had a really, really tough day. And it proves that it's not all the angler, it's the fish as well. He's had 4 ounce with 4 roach, which is soul destroying, really, when you think about it.
To be honest with you, like, it's still quite mild at the moment.
Yeah.
But when it starts getting cold now, winter fishing can be a cruel mistress.
It really can, mate. It really can. It really can. But yeah, that's my week. Back at Aaron again this week for teams of 4. So we'll have a catch up about that again. I know you've got the Fish South Silvers coming up, haven't you, mate, as well?
Yeah, I got a Fish South Silvers qualifier at White Springs this Saturday coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have the weather's supposed to be bad again.
Yeah, again.
Windy and horrible. So it's 2 lakes in.
Yep.
Only 1 qualifier, so I think you're going to have to draw quite well. All the usual suspects from Wales are there, Mikey and Crocker and Andrew Mann, and they're all there. You need to draw well, I think. But yeah, I quite like the fishing down there. The skimmers and the bream are quite big, so
that's it.
Never really out of it. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll get that qualifying spot.
I was going to say, I'm not sure the skimmers like 2+2 with Crocker being there, but I'm sure he'll give it a try.
Oh, yeah, you will.
I'm sure he'll give it a try. We'll go on to results. Go on, mate.
I said never in doubt, that.
Yeah, never Crocker. In doubt, definitely. With
he'll always try that 2+2. I think he needs to have that tattooed on his arm, doesn't he? 2+2.
Definitely. I'm sure his brother could sort him out.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, we'll go on to results, mate. We'll start with the Angling Trust Zero Fit silverfish competition. We said on the last episode there was one going on at Badenhall. The Badenhall one, unfortunately, got cancelled because of the big storm that we had. Yeah, flooding. But that is going ahead this Sunday. Again, there's another one on Saturday. There's a 65 pegger at Boston, which should be really good, I think.
Yeah, I was going to go to that Boston one, but obviously having double booked myself for the qualifier down here, it makes sense to go to the one down here because it's only 50 minutes away from me, where Boston is like 2 hours 40. So
that's it.
I made the decision to go for that.
I don't blame you, mate, especially with the travelling. So the one qualifier that we have had was at Southend Farm. Don't know a lot about the venue, really.
Supposed to be really good for silvers, that is. Like, I heard a lot of people say it's really good for silvers, like big bags of like bream and skimmers, like.
Yep. Yeah. Mike McMillan's won the match. Obviously, we both know Mike from Whiteacres, good angler.
Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike. He's had £50 4 ounce, which has won the match overall.
It's a good week, that, isn't it?
Yeah. The second qualifier was Colin Kavanagh, who's had £46 8. And then we've got Lewis Bray, who has won the Damsel Lake section, which is very, very different looking at it. It was £14 4 ounce.
Oh, it's like massive contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, so obviously massive. So we've had another 3 qualifiers there. Obviously, some good anglers going in again to the final, joining Waco, Andy May, all them guys, Christian, Matty.
Putting the standard up all the time, innit?
Yeah.
In the final.
And then we will move on to Mr. Gary Rogers is on the Flyer TV Winter Classic. First qualifier was Aston Park Fisheries up north. And Stephen Forster has won that with £36 10 ounce.
I seen that. I seen Stephen won that. He's a very good angler, Steve is, and he's quite quiet, isn't he?
Exactly, and I think to be honest with you, looking at his record as well, he hasn't really failed to qualify for any of these silverfish qualifiers recently. He's been in most finals every year. Yeah,
he's a very good angler, Stephen is, to be fair to him. So, and Aston Park, he got a good record up there anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a very good angler.
Second qualifier from Aston was Leon Hardwick with £31 10 ounce. So another sort of decent weight. Another good angler. Another decent
good angler in the final.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of good anglers in these finals, isn't it?
Definitely. Next qualifier was Sherwood Forest Lakes, and the man himself, Mr. Andy May, has won the match with £17 13 ounces.
Fair play to him. Play to him. He loves a bit of silverfish fishing as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, no doubt he's fed about 6 pints of casters there or something.
Catapult wouldn't be out of his hand, would it?
Yeah. And then
John shallow knowing him.
Yeah, definitely. And then John O. Smith has won the other section with £10 9 ounce. So seems like a hard match, but some decent decentish weights to qualify.
Yeah, it seems like a good match, isn't it? £17 winning and £10 winning the other sections. It's a decent match.
Yeah. And then we had a qualifier yesterday as well at Cooper's Lake.
Cooper's Lake. Yeah, I was in work yesterday watching the live weigh-ins and all the live updates.
Yeah.
Your mate Brad Parks was playing a carp and he thought it was a big tench.
Yeah, definitely.
Pops up and it's a carp you've got to put back.
Yeah.
So been a bit unlucky there as well.
So England international Sean Ashby, obviously third at the World Championships this year, has won the match with £26 1 ounce and good performance, cracking angler again.
Yeah, he's class act, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a class act for us.
And then second was Matt Page with £17 3 ounce.
Yeah, I think Matt Page had a few big tench, didn't he? From what I can remember.
Yeah.
A few big tinkers, which is always nice to have a few big tinkers.
It is, especially this time of year and in silverfish matches.
Yeah, especially this time of year. So well done to him.
Yeah. We'll give a quick mention, obviously, to the England freestyle feeder team that have gone out to Spain. Mr. Tommy Pickering's managing them lads. Obviously, you got the likes of Phil Ringer in the team, Nick Speed, Alex Doherty, Joe Jagger.
Yeah, they're gonna have a good time out there, aren't they? Because I can't remember what venue they're on.
It's on the venue that hosts the Iberian Masters, which is
it?
Yeah, which is the feeder event anyway.
But Nick and I have been out, Nick and Phil and all that, they've all been out there to the Iberian Masters quite a bit, and they and Tom. They're all gonna know a little bit about it. So they should be looking to have a good result out there, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a bit different. Obviously, freestyle feeder, for those that don't know, it's method feeders allowed, pellet feeders, the lot. So it'll be quite interesting. Quite interesting. So we'll now move into Calamity Corner. Obviously,
here we go.
We had yours last week, mate. With Mr. 5 times being involved. So I thought that I might drop one in now. A few people probably won't know Dan Deakin, but there's quite a few people that do. Lovely lad from around the Staffordshire area, but he gets to Westwood, he gets everywhere like that. He fishes quite a few festivals. But this is probably going back 4 or 5 years ago now. At Ehrenbrook, they used to have the new canal, which was at the back of Canal now, which is now, it's not a lake anymore. There's no fish in it. There's nothing left. But it's a canal. It's about 18 to 20 meters wide. So you'd either fish pole very long, or you'd chuck a method across to the far bank. But the fish in there were notably big. They were sort of 10 to 15 pounders. And we were fishing teams of 4 back in the day. And Dan's drawn the top end, which is usually quite a good area for the carp and stuff. And there's a few anglers in between. I think Dave Brown, Dave Lloyd were in the same sort of section. I was down the bottom end. And Dan's rod got pulled in. And Dan being Dan thought, I'll go get me rod. And I can always remember the day because I think his girlfriend was sat behind him watching him. So he didn't want to. I think he was just trying to be a bit thingy about it. Say, I'll go in and get my rod, even though it's cold. I'll go in and get it. And he's turned round to Daz Johnson on the next peg. And he said to Daz, says, I'm just going to put my jacket on to just go get this rod so I don't get cold. And
put his jacket on to go in, like.
And Dan,
not to keep it for when he's coming out, like just put it on.
Yep. And Dan being Dan put his jacket on, and he got his rod back. So there's a few more stories with Dan, but obviously we don't want to tell them all at the same time.
No, I don't keep a few for the next time.
Yeah, but I thought that was a good one to go into.
Sat there in the cold then because he didn't have a jacket to put on.
Yep, exactly that. But it's funny. It's funny fishing, isn't it? It's funny.
Yeah, it's a cracker, that is. And sometimes you don't think before you speak, do you? And
nope.
That's one of them. That's one of them.
There was a comment I made on Sunday. Christian Jones rang me because he was on Meda, and we were having a chat, and he's gone to me, I'm blanking, haven't had a bite, and me without thinking just says, have you had any bites on pellets? Like sometimes you just don't think about it, do you?
No, Alex, I've not had a bite. I just told you this.
Yeah.
Stop trying to wipe me out.
Yeah. Well, go on, shit or it now, mate.
Is this your one again?
I've come up with this one again. Pole limits.
Oh, come on.
Pole limits. Yeah. So, in my opinion, commercial out and out. I do not mind. I don't really want pole limits because as a sport, in my opinion anyway, if you want to compete to the best of your ability in a sport, you need to be the best out there and be able to do things that other people can't do. I've fished pole up to sort of 21 meters. It's been no bother for me, but I know a lot of people have different opinions on this, and that's why I've brought it up. So yeah. I know yourself, obviously fishing internationally, it's always 13 meters, and I know it's a bit of a funny one, that is, for me, because I'm one that's not bothered. So if you could fish like 17.5, 18 meters to an island, yeah,
I'm not bothered. I'll do it. Do you mean if I got to do it, I'll do it. But then I also feel that when places put like 60-meter limits on things, it does make it sort of a leveler playing field for the people that can't afford a top end pole to go and fish 17, 18.
Yeah.
So like, for example, White Springs down with us, they got a winter league, and it used to be 17.5 meter limit because people had an extra section to reach islands and stuff like that. And in recent years, it's all been 16-meter limits.
Yeah.
And I was down there, I think it was last year. And I said something like, oh, why don't we just like lift the 60 meter limit so we can fish into shallow water?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get into shallow water. And there was a elderly chap next to me. I can't think of his name now, but he basically said to me, he said, "Well, if they do that, I won't be fishing the matches because I can't do it."
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, if he didn't go, and then his mate didn't go, they come with him, and then his other mate didn't go because he didn't want to do it and felt like he couldn't compete unless he'd done it. You suddenly gone from like a 20, 30 peg match to like, a 15, 20 peg match. And I get it. I'm one that I would do it.
Yeah.
Because I got the gear there to do it. So
yeah,
I
exactly.
would go and fish it. But I can understand how other people want those limits there. Do you mean?
Yeah, I completely get that as well. I mean,
bit of an awkward one. I'd say it's not quite a shit and it's not quite a hit for me. I don't know.
Well,
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence for that one.
But we'll stick with that one on the fence. And if any of the guys out there want to comment their opinion, let's
what do you think though? Because you brought it up. Do you think it's shit or hit?
I fish venues with different rules. There's some venues I fish where it is a 16-meter limit. Obviously, you've got Western. There's certain lakes at Isaac Walton where I go in the summer on a carp venue where it's like 16-meter limit. And to be honest with you, it doesn't bother me because it doesn't create an advantage because I can still fish across the far banks, find shallow water and all that. But I think the main reason I did bring it up was because it's in the middle, isn't it? It's on the fence for everyone to say.
For a lot of people, yeah.
And I think this comes back to the thing of everyone saying, "Oh yeah, we should have one set of rules for all fishing," and that is that. And
yeah, it's an interesting topic, isn't it? It's an interesting topic because, like, 16-meter limit, like most people got a 16-meter pole, but then some people haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you say, on the continent, they're all fishing 30 meters.
And obviously, they can't get hold of them poles.
No, so like on the continent, it is 30 meters, and there's a generalized rule right across the board. Like,
yep.
So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a really interesting one. Pole limits. I don't know where I stand on it, to be honest, because when I go away and fish internationals with Wales, and even the Thedrenon Festival, it's 30-meter limit. But most poles these days are not 30 meters.
Yeah.
If you chuck your pole together on your 30-meter section and measured it, it's like 12 point something.
Yeah, that's it.
And like you can get away. So like we measured a pole not long ago, and I think with a short 4, so with my Superium 90 X90,
yeah,
if I put a short 4 in it and a short kit,
yeah,
I can actually fish a 14.5 meter butt section at the end of it and a dolly butt.
Yep.
So you're almost, people look at you and you think they think, God, how long's he fishing?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it's a 40-meter limit, a 30-meter limit.
Yeah.
But so it's like it is a funny one because like in Europe, all their poles are 30 meters measured.
Yeah, definitely.
But over here, if you brought that sort of 30-meter or 60-meter limit in, it's very hard to sort of find a perfect 60-meter pole or a perfect 30-meter pole.
Yep.
So there's still a little bit of controversy there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. I think when we get guests on, I think we'll ask the same question, mate, because it's quite an interesting topic. Lastly, we will go on to the ultimate team. So the 5 anglers, obviously from the last episode, we said why takers. The 5 lakes, obviously Twin Oaks, Pollowin, Belingi, Trelawney, and Jenny's.
I'll go with my 5 first if you want. Go on,
and
then.
then you can see what you think. So Twin Oaks, I have gone with the man himself, Andy Power.
Yeah.
He is,
I'd put him on Belingi if it was me, but
yeah,
he's Twin Oaks is a good one for him, but Belingi, I don't think he's not won the section on Belingi in the last 10 years. It's
yeah.
like his record on Belingi is like stupid.
That's it.
Stupid.
I've gone for the sort of same aspect on Belingi as well. I've gone with Andy Bennett, who is in the same
One,
who is in the same category as Power. In all honesty, we'll go Poloing next. I've gone with Callum Dix. Cal is obviously highest standard sort of. He's not even an international angler anymore, is he? But he is still. He's still one of the best.
He's still very, very good, isn't he, Callum?
Yeah,
and he spent a lot of time and effort on his gear and making sure everything's right, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see why you put Callum in there.
Yeah, obviously Belingi, Andy Bennett, his record on that lake is ridiculous. Same as Power. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I hope them pair are in the same section one week and see what happens.
Yeah, proper ding dong, I will.
Yeah.
Forget about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
front row seats for that one.
Yeah. Trelawney, I'm a bit stuck with this one, really. I have gone with yourself or James Howarth.
Oh.
Just for the fact that I know what you guys' consistency is like on there. Again, Bennett and Power in that same sort of.
Yeah, Bennett's very consistent on Trelawney, to be fair.
Yep. And you two guys as well. And last up, gone Jenny's. I don't think there is anyone that's got a better record on Jenny's than Des.
Yeah, Des will always do well on Jenny's.
Yeah.
He'd always do well on Jenny's. That'd be my pick for Jenny's, would be Des.
Yeah.
I probably agree with you on Des, 100%.
Yeah.
I think Des would be 100% on that. I'd put Andy Bennett on Trelawney.
Yep.
That'd be my choice on Trelawney. I'd put Andy Power on Belingi.
Yep.
I'd put him down there. Twin Oaks.
I think Twin Oaks is the hardest one, I feel.
Twin Oaks I'd probably go for myself.
Yeah. Well, you're never far away from 15, are you? So
yeah, Twin Oaks I'd probably go for myself just because it's always been kind to me, Twin Oaks have.
Yeah.
And Poloing Match Lake. Match Lake, I would probably go for. So I think over like recent years. So Johnny Wincup had a really good record on Poloing.
Yeah.
We was drawing the eye bank every week, every sort of festival.
Yeah.
And doing really, really well. To be fair, I always do well on Poloing.
Yeah, you do.
But I think I do a little bit better on Twin Oaks.
Yeah.
I always draw like down the arms on Polly. Who would be my choice on it? Probably Trig.
Yeah.
On Poloing.
Yeah.
Trig catches a little bit on Poloing.
He's had some days on casters, hasn't he, really?
Yeah,
recently as well.
Good days on Poloing. I say it's a toss up between Trig and Mikey, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just because Mikey works so hard. Whenever he's on the bank in a match, he works so hard at it to like nick a couple of fish here, nick a couple of fish there.
Yeah.
I think on Poloing, where it's always really tight, you need someone like that.
That's it. Ducking and diving.
Yeah, so it'd be between Trig and Mikey, and I'd probably just sort of side with Mikey a little bit, just because I think he's a little bit more hardworking at what he does. Like, so that'd be my 5.
That's it. And next week we are going to do top 3 anglers for Boston Lakes in a silverfish match.
Silverfish.
Yeah. So
any method
for silverfish. So we'll have a think about that one. Want you guys to drop, obviously, everything down in the comments, what you think, and obviously our selections that we've just made about the Whiteacres chat.
Chuck your top 5 Whiteacres anglers on in the comment, and we'll have a chat with the Silvers one next week.
Yeah, so I think we'll finish there, mate. We'll just put a note out there. We are trying to get our first special guest for the next episode, aren't we? We're not. We are not going to give it away.
No, we'll wait and see what happens, innit? Wait and see who joins us.
Exactly. But again, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you again in another 2 weeks.
We will. Cheers, guys. See you soon.